Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Dead Man Gaming, and in this video I'm going to talk about 5 things I think Rockstar needs to give some more love to. Now, I could have easily stretched this video out to be 10 things, but that would have made the video much too long, so instead I'm going to do a few honourable mentions at the end. So we're going to just do my top 5 things I think Rockstar needs to give more love to. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing I think Rockstar needs to give a lot more love to is the various activities there are to do around the map, such as golf, tennis, darts. You can see here I'm just having a chuck at the dartboard. Basically, for these, you only get RP, you don't get any money, so not many players want to get involved in doing these. Like 2 weeks ago, I think it might have been now, a week and a half maybe, I got on board with a mate of mine. We jumped online. I was actually live streaming it, and we played tennis and we played golf. We even did arm wrestling. And again, we got no money. Neither of us got any money for these activities. All we got was RP. Something with the golf I'd really love to see is perhaps when the weekly event update resets each week, have a tournament open on the golf. Make it you've got until, let's say, maybe Tuesday to get on and play 2 rounds of golf. And once the competition time closes, then award money to the players who had the best score, like maybe something like maybe $1 million for first, maybe 500,000 for second, something like that. Like, give the players an incentive to get on and play golf, because me and my mate, we had a lot of fun playing golf. In fact, I actually got my first ever subpar round of golf in this entire time playing GTA since 2013, and I did that on my live stream, so that was pretty cool. And we had fun playing tennis as well. I don't know how you could work tennis out to give the player base a money reward, because you need 2 people to do it. Golf, you can just get on and do it yourself, and then have your score registered for the tournament that I was talking about, for example. But with tennis, I don't know how you could work that out. Darts, I don't know either. Arm wrestling, that's not really, I don't really see how that could work out to have a monetary value added to that, because the matches that we had in the arm wrestling, it was over in a good 30 seconds or so. So I don't know how they could work that out, but think of something, Rockstar. Give these activities a bit more love, because, like I said, me and my mate, we absolutely enjoyed we were having fun doing it, and it was just a nice break from the money grind. But the only way you're going to get players to do these kind of events is by putting money on them, and that's because you've made everything so damn expensive in the game, Rockstar. People just gravitate to what's going to make them money so they can buy these expensive vehicles. So, these fun modes, they need more money, or they need a money reward added to them so that players will do them. So anyway, that's going to do it for number 5. Let's move on to number 4. At number 4 on this list, I'm going to go with street races, stunt races, even air races, any kind of race, I don't care. Do we have the jet ski races in online? I know we did in story mode. Any form of racing, I want to see get a buff from Rockstar. Now, the week that I recorded this video, there were certain races that were on triple money, and here we got a big grid in here, and that's what I want to see. Back in the day, back in 2013, when online first released, we had contact missions and we had races, and they were like 2 of the best ways to make money in the entire game. And because of that, you could always find someone to do contact missions with you, and you could always find a full grid of races. No matter what race you wanted to do, you could always get people to come in and join you and do a race, and you could get full grids. And not so much these days. The last 2 weeks now, when with certain races being on triple money, there have been some full grids in here, and it's been a lot of fun, because more people are doing them because they got that extra money incentive to get in and do them. So Rockstar, I think you even need to permanently make these races this triple money payout they are right now, and make that across all races, or even go one step further, make it 4 times. Because, like I said, I love the racing, but on normal weeks when I want to have a break from my money grind and get on and have a race, you can't find a full lobby to do races with. And, you'd be lucky to get 2 or 3 people in with you. Right there, the shove. I can't stand that. But, that's a part of racing, and there are toxic players who would do that, and there are players who go deliberately out of the way to shove you. But in most grids, you'll find that players are generally sticking to themselves, and you'll only get a bump if it's a general racing incident most of the time. And that's the kind of racing I love doing on this game. And if you want to be a real pussy, you can take contact off, but then you don't get the slipstreaming. And actually, while I'm on the races, those of you who don't turn catch-up off when you're setting up a race, what's wrong with you? Take catch-up off. I really can't stand that one being on. That gives an advantage to the slower racers who are behind you. Particularly this track here I'm on, it's a oval circuit race. And And the slower cars are able, once you get in front, because of better driving, well, I'm assuming I got in front because it was better driving. When I did, I might have just been because catch-up was on. But no, come on. Take catch-up off. That's something lower levels will want to do, because if they're racing against higher levels who have custom vehicles, they're going to want to be able to catch them. If you're a higher level and you're hosting a race, don't be soft. Turn catch-up off, okay? Anyway, that's going to do it for number 4. Let's move on to number 3. At number 3, I'm going to go with Arena Wars. Arena Wars is one of the most fun game modes I've found in this entire game, if you can get people in there to play with you. Unfortunately, the payout is terrible, and what's worse is the AP, that's the points you get to level up in Arena Wars. The best way to get that is not even playing the Arena Wars mode. You go into spectator mode instead and spin the wheel. You've got more chance of getting more AP in 5 minutes of spinning that wheel than you have doing an actual event in Arena Wars. So Rockstar, you need to fix this. Fix the AP so we get a decent amount of AP for doing the Arena Wars, and also give us better payout for the money, because this is a lot of fun, but no one does it. I got lucky here and managed to find a lobby with, I think it was only 5 or 6 other people, and it's fun. It is absolute fun. It's a decent break away from the money grind as well, but you aren't going to get players in here playing this unless you increase the payout and you fix the AP, because who wants to get in here and spend 5 or 10 minutes and getting next to no reward in your career progress in Arena Wars? And the vehicles are expensive too. Like, I've got a couple of custom vehicles here in the Arena Wars, but I've got them through grinding out other stuff, like the Cayo Perico heist and my other businesses. I have not got a single vehicle through Arena Wars, for the Arena Wars, through doing Arena Wars. Except for the custom taxi, actually. I did get that through leveling up. But I got that through spinning the wheel. I just sat there for maybe a good half hour or so, maybe an hour, just spinning the wheel, and that is how I leveled up to get the taxi. And yeah, like, there are other vehicles you can get, like that was level 25. I think the Space Doctor, is it? Or whatever it's called, the Space Docker. I think you've got to get to level 200. I could be wrong. It could be even higher. I don't know. But it's a ridiculously high amount, and to get that, playing Arena Wars is going to take you forever. Even spinning the wheel, it's going to be much quicker, but it's still going to take you forever to get that, if you want that is. And so, yeah, look, I really want to see Arena Wars. It's a fun mode. Every time I play it, I really, really enjoy it. But you got no players in the lobbies wanting to do it, and it's because the pay is terrible. It's because the AP that's awarded is broken. I think it's broken anyway. The fact that you level up faster by not playing it, by spectating others and just spinning the wheel. So yeah, that's why Arena Wars is in here. I think it could be even better than it is if Rockstar fixes these tiny little things with it, just the AP and the payout. So anyway, that's going to do it for number 3. Let's move on to number 2. At number 2, I'm going to go with the Vehicle Cargo Warehouse. When this business first released into the game, it was probably the first real solo-friendly business, and being such, it was also the best solo money-making method when it first came into the game. You could link this with stuff like Headhunter and Sightseer, and putting those together, sourcing a vehicle, selling a vehicle, doing the Headhunters in between the cooldowns, or the Sightseer in between the cooldowns, and you could quite easily make a couple $100,000 an hour, or roughly thereabouts. And like I said, being as the other businesses in the game at the time were stuff like the cargo warehouses, where you kind of needed 1 or 2 other people to help you with those. I think we also had the biker businesses in the game by that stage. So again, not really solo friendly. I think the bunker might have been out before these as well, even. So another one that's, you could do the bunker solo, but you could also, if you go too far with that, you needed help with it as well. So I'll explain that in a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, this thing, I think it really needs a bit more attention. I know that it got a recent buff in the fact that it was one of the only businesses that you didn't get a high demand bonus for selling in a public lobby, and now you do. With the, I think it was with the Drug Wars DLC, might have even been most recently with the San Andreas Mercenaries. I can't remember exactly which one that was, but either way, it got a buff recently where you do get a high demand bonus for selling in a public lobby now. But I want to go one step further, because the top range vehicles that you source for this, they're not exactly what I'd call top range anymore. I mean, at the time that the Vehicle Cargo Warehouse came out, they were some of the best cars in the game. And since then, we've had a lot more cars released, which are a lot better than the top range vehicles that are available for the Vehicle Cargo Warehouse. So I'd like to see a fourth tier added, and maybe call it something like Elite, or I don't know, something prestigious, or something like, give it something, a name that puts it above the top range vehicles and gives it that bit extra more money. Maybe, what is it, top range sell for 80, we get $80,000 profits, it sells for $100,000. Maybe make these ones available for $150,000. And still have the $20,000 we've got to pay for to do the upgrade, so make it $130,000, and then add the high demand bonus to that, and then we're looking at closer to $200,000, maybe even a little over $200,000 per vehicle we sell. It wouldn't be that hard to implement. I mean, there's plenty of cars in the game. You could just add another. There's 32 vehicles in the car pool for the vehicle warehouse, and there are 40 slots inside the warehouse. So maybe those extra 8 slots, rather than if we source past 32, give us a duplicate of one of the 32 we've already sourced, maybe give us 8 new vehicles to fill those remaining 8 slots in the Vehicle Cargo Warehouse and put them at this new tier that is above top range. And like I said, we sell them for $150,000, making it a $130,000 profit, and then you add the high demand bonus selling in a public lobby. Yeah, that's something I'd like to see implemented, because I used to grind this out a lot when it first came out into the game, and like I said, it was, at the time, one of the best money-making methods in the game, particularly for solo players at the time of its release, but it's kind of fallen off the radar a bit, and I don't think many people do it anymore because there are much better ways to make money. So anyway, that's going to do it for number 2. Number 2, the Vehicle Cargo Warehouse. Let's move on to number 1. Before we jump into number 1, I did mention at the start of the video I had a few honourable mentions. So here we go. Firstly, I want to say gambling in the casino. If you have the high roller membership in the casino, the best you can bet is $50,000. So I'd like to see this increased. Maybe give a membership where you've got to pay maybe $2 or $3 million. That way, you know it's going to be players who have a lot of money. They're going to do this. So you're not just going to have low levels wasting money, and then it gives more of an incentive to buy shark cards. That's the last thing I want to see done. But let's get a membership where you've got to pay $3 million to join in the casino, and then you get an increased max bet of, say, maybe $500,000, maybe $1 million. Maybe $1 million is pushing it a bit too much. That's probably getting a bit too high in the fact that it will entice more purchase of shark cards, which is not what I want to see. But, you know, as a player who has, at the moment, I'm kind of yo-yoing between $250 million and $280 million. I'm kind of going up and down. Every time I make a good $30 million, I'm spending that $30 million almost straight away. Yeah, I'd like to see a bigger payout. $50,000 to me in the casino is nothing, so I'd like to see a little bit more done there. You know, and like I said, you want to put it in a way that it's not going to entice people to buy shark cards. So, like I said, maybe throw a membership up there and make the maximum maybe $500,000 once you've got that new membership tier. I don't know, it's something to look at maybe. I'd like to give another honourable mention to adversary modes. I think we need to boost the payout to these because they are some of the most fun you can have in a game. You see I'm doing the Deadline series here, which is a lot of fun. It's like the old Tron movie. You've got other ones like Sumo and Running Back and all the adversary modes I've done, a lot of fun, but hardly anybody does them because the payout is terrible. So let's give a buff to that, okay? Because we'll get more people in there doing that. These fun modes, a break away from the money grind. I'd like to give another honourable mention to special cargo warehouses. Now, I know you've got a staff member in there now that you can pay them to source the crates for you. But 1 out of the 3 sell vehicles you get if you have more than 9 crates in your warehouse, you do run the risk of spawning a 3rd vehicle, and that's the Brigade sell missions. Surely there's a way we can change this so that we only ever get that 1 vehicle. You know most of the players are solo players these days now. So look, if you give us the solo vehicle, if it's the Titan or the tugboat, so come on, make the Brigade single vehicle as well, no matter how many crates you have. The next honourable mention I have is the hangar, and I know this has got a massive buff. It is one of the best businesses in the game right now. But I'm talking about sourcing the crates. We still can only source 1 at a time if we're solo. And as for Rooster sourcing the crates, it's random what he sources. So, let us pick what we can get him to source, and let us source more than one crate as a solo player. I'd like to give another honourable mention to the wall safe in your arcade. Now, if you have a gaming machine in every single game slot in your arcade, it'll max out your wall safe at $5,000 every 48 minutes. I'd like to see that increased to 10,000. 20 might be pushing it, but 10,000. It'll bring it closer in line with the wall safes that we have in the agency and the nightclub. And there is a way that you can max out your arcade with gaming machines if you don't have that much money, and I've got a video on that. I'll link that down below. So let's give some more love to the arcade, the wall safe in the arcade. And the final honourable mention I'd like to give is for the bunker. Now, you can work the bunker to be completely solo if you only ever buy one batch of supplies and then sell it straight away, and you'll only ever get one vehicle. The problem with that is that the bunker takes... you're going to be selling so much more, and it's going to take up more of your time. I like to be able to sell when it's full. The problem then is I'm going to have multiple sell vehicles spawn, so I need people to help me with, unless I manage to get the Phantom Wedge or the Insurgents with the single drop. Any other sell mission you get with a full bunker, you're not going to be able to do solo. So Rockstar, come on, look, the Phantom Wedge. Surely we can get one Phantom Wedge for a full bunker sale. So let's have a look at that. Let's get that done, please. Anyway, that's going to do it for all the honourable mentions. Let's move right along to number one now. At number one, I've gone with the MC businesses. Now, for everything that is good about the MC businesses, it is equally as bad. And I'm going to talk about the bad, the raids. I am sick of the raids happening in these bloody businesses. I've paid for security upgrades, but they seem to do nothing in terms of the raids. And it's always in the middle of a bloody mission or something. You could be setting up Cayo Perico heists, and if you register as an MC instead of a CEO, and you've got product in your MC businesses, at some point you're going to get a phone call, and you're in the middle of doing your heist setups, you've got to go and defend your businesses. And it's an absolute pain in the neck. The other thing is the sell missions. They're not very solo friendly. We've got maybe one mission, I think, and that's the you get the pounder. That is the only sell mission you can do completely solo if you've got a full business to sell. And all the vehicles you get, none of them are weaponized, none of them are armored. It takes a single rocket to blow you up if you're doing it in a public lobby, trying to get the high demand bonus, and all your product's lost. And like I said, let's make these a little more solo friendly. Now, I understand we've got the street dealers now, and you can avoid being griefed selling your product to them. But the problem there is that the payout is not that great. You can get the high demand bonus selling in a public lobby. Let's make it more solo friendly. Let's give us only the pounder or the acid lab you can do on a dirt bike. You can do a full acid lab on the dirt bike. Let's maybe introduce the acid lab bike into your MC businesses as a sell mission. Maybe. I don't know. Let's make it a bit more solo friendly. Let's drop the raids or maybe make it so they're happening less. Maybe not drop them all together, just make it so it's happening less, because they are annoying and it's not very solo friendly. So I think we can make the MC businesses great again. We don't really need a payout increase. We just need to make it so that we can make it a little more fun for solo players. We can make it more manageable for solo players, and we can drop the raids or lower the amount that the raids happen. And I think these businesses can be great again. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. What did you think? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Is there something else you want to see? Maybe Rockstar give some more attention to, increase the payouts of, or do something to entice the player base to play more often? Anyway, look, if you enjoyed this video, please give a like. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my speed cubing channel. I'll drop a link to that down below as well. If you're interested in learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube, I have a tutorial on how to do that, as well as other puzzles. So check that out if that's something that interests you. If it doesn't, well, you don't have to check that out. Don't worry about it. And that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy gaming. Cheers.